Has the story in Kursk come to an end? Clearly not. In fact, a new chapter has just begun as the Russian Ministry of Defense revealed a shocking discovery in the Kursk border region through their official Telegram channel. What exactly did they find? Military developments in the Kursk border area have become one of the key turning points in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. In this region, soldiers from the International Mine Action Center of the Military Engineering Academy, part of the SEVER task force, showcased to the public various types of ammunition and mines found on the ground. These findings serve not only as visual evidence of the intensity of the fighting in the area, but also open the door for deeper analysis regarding the strategy and impact of modern weaponry on the battlefield. Experts involved in the identification process noted that in addition to unexploded mines, cluster munitions used by the Ukrainian armed forces were also found. These cluster munitions were scattered across fields and forested areas, complicating efforts to clear the region of active explosive threats. The presence of anti-tank, anti-vehicle, and anti-personnel mines originating from NATO member countries further underscores the involvement of Western military technology in this conflict. Moreover, Ukrainian forces have also employed improvised explosive devices disguised as household items and everyday objects such as teddy bears, power banks, watches, money, and even grenades. This camouflage strategy is designed to deceive anyone who comes across these objects, increasing the danger for mine-clearing troops operating in the area. In addition to mines and explosives, several drones were also found lying at the same location. These drones, used by Ukrainian forces for reconnaissance, surveillance, and in some cases, long-range attacks, did not all make it back to base. Field conditions show that some crashed or were abandoned due to technical malfunctions or counterattacks. The Russian forces demonstrated to the media and the public various types of ammunition left behind by Ukrainian troops in the Kursk border region. This ammunition originated from multiple countries, including Denmark, Germany, the United States, Spain, Romania, the Czech Republic, and Ukraine itself. The diverse origins of these weapons reflect the extensive military support Ukraine has received from Western nations, both in the form of direct aid and logistical supplies through unofficial channels. This discovery holds significance not only from an intelligence standpoint, but also from psychological and diplomatic perspectives, as it reveals the level of foreign involvement in the ongoing conflict. An analysis of the utility of the discovered weapons shows that each type of ammunition and explosive device serves a specific function on the battlefield. Anti-tank and anti-vehicle mines, for instance, are designed to halt or slow the advance of armored vehicles and tanks, thereby giving infantry forces time to maneuver or hold strategic positions. Meanwhile, anti-personnel mines are intended to restrict enemy troop movements in open areas or supply routes, creating hazardous zones that are difficult to traverse without high risk. Improvised explosive devices disguised as everyday objects add a psychological dimension to the conflict, instilling constant vigilance and fear in every step the opposing forces take. The advantages gained by Russian forces from the discovery of these Western-supplied weapons are considerable. First, from an intelligence perspective, each piece of ammunition or explosive device can be analyzed to identify the technology, distribution patterns, and possible supply routes used by Ukraine. This information is valuable for planning future operations and closing potential gaps that the enemy might exploit. Second, from a logistical standpoint, weapons and ammunition that remain in good condition can be reused by Russian troops, thereby reducing the need for domestic resupply. Third, these findings can also be used as public evidence that Western weapons are not always effective on the battlefield, and can even become a threat to the users themselves if they fall into enemy hands. In another recent recording, it is clearly seen how members of the Vostok Battalion conducted a sweep of a wooded area and discovered a cache of NATO weapons left behind by Ukrainian forces during their retreat. Among the findings were F1 grenades, 7.62mm machine gun belts, armor-piercing and incendiary rounds, as well as ammunition boxes suspected to contain mines. The F1 grenade, known as a defensive fragmentation grenade, is highly effective for holding positions, as it can produce lethal metal fragments within a wide radius. The 7.62mm machine gun belts are used for heavy machine guns, providing sustained firepower during medium to long-range combat. Armor-piercing and incendiary rounds are designed to penetrate vehicle armor or personal protection and cause additional damage through burning effects. These Western-supplied weapons play a vital role for Ukrainian forces. The F1 grenades offer an advantage in close-quarters combat and positional defense, while the machine guns and specialized rounds enhance survivability during frontal assaults or when engaging armored vehicles. However, if these weapons are successfully secured by Russian forces, that advantage could shift. Russia could study the technical characteristics of the weapons, use them to strengthen its own defenses, or even develop new tactics based on the identified strengths and weaknesses of the equipment. Additionally, the successful capture of Western weapons could be used as a bargaining chip, strengthening Russia's negotiating position in discussions surrounding foreign military aid to Ukraine. In the Luhansk region, a similar situation occurred. Russian forces successfully located and destroyed a large ammunition depot containing 37 artillery shells and projectile charges. Experts confirmed that the recovered munitions were 120mm fragmentation rounds from the 2S9 Nona self-propelled mortar artillery system. This system is known for its ability to provide precise indirect fire support, suppressing hidden enemy positions or reinforcing frontline defenses. However, several of the munitions showed signs of corrosion, posing a serious risk if not promptly addressed. As a result, the entire contents of the depot were moved to a safe location to be destroyed by Russian forces in order to prevent the risk of an uncontrolled explosion that could endanger the troops. Additionally, during an engineering reconnaissance operation near one of the settlements in Luhansk, the Russian National Guard discovered over 3,000 rounds of various calibers, more than 100 artillery shells and grenades, 12 meters of detonation cord, as well as components of active armored tank dynamic protection. These findings indicate a systematic effort by the Ukrainian side to strengthen defenses in the area, while also revealing the significant volume of military logistics deployed to the front lines. Detonation cords and active tank protection components are key parts of modern defense systems, designed to enhance the survivability of combat vehicles in battlefields filled with mine threats and anti-tank weapons. Unfortunately for Ukraine, the large quantity of captured weapons has become a strategic advantage for Russian forces. Gaining control over NATO-supplied ammunition and weapons directly weakens Ukraine's combat capability by reducing the available logistical stock at the front. So, does Ukraine still have any room to request more military aid? That's all for today, and thanks for watching.